Stephen Harper's August visit to the Governor-General kicked off a 78-day campaign period, leading up to Canada's 42nd federal election. It's the longest official campaign since 1872, when Sir John A. Macdonald relied on the train and the telegraph to win Canada's second election, with voting taking place over 3 months.
This is
where 2015 will likely rank first in Canadian history is in the amount of money spent by the major parties.
All those in favor of the motion will please rise.
That's because of Bill C-23, passed last year by the Conservative government and Democratic Reform Minister Pierre Poilievre. Among its many changes to the Canada Elections Act was an increase to the spending limit, prorated for each day the campaign extends beyond the 37-day minimum.
Every little action matters and makes a difference.
A 78-day campaign means the national limit for parties running candidates in every riding has more than doubled to over $54 million. That's an extra $700,000 for each extra day. That number does not include spending by individual candidates in their riding. Their average limit is based on their riding's population and has also more than doubled to nearly $220,000.
Justin Trudeau ready to be Prime Minister?
These higher limits mean Canadians could face a barrage of advertising in the final days and weeks before October 19th, as parties stockpile money to sway undecided voters.
It's time for change in Ottawa.
Stephen Harper denied that he sought an early election call this time simply to increase the spending limit, exploit the Conservative Party's fundraising edge, or buy more ad space.
I feel very strongly that if we're going to begin our campaigns and going to run our campaigns, that those campaigns need to be conducted under the rules of the law, that the money come from the parties themselves, not from the government resources, parliamentary resources, or taxpayer resources, and that's what we're doing. In terms of the advantages this party has, in terms of the fact that we are a better financed political party, a better organized political party, and better supported by Canadians, those advantages exist whether we call this campaign or not.
Individual Canadians can give up to $1,500 to a political party each year. Those donations have been the lifeblood of political parties since the new Conservative government banned corporate donations in 2006. And parties need that money for all sorts of things during a campaign.
How long have you been in your office?
Candidates need office space for campaign volunteers, lawn signs for supporters, pamphlets have to be printed, websites need maintenance and updating, and airplanes and buses need to shuttle the leaders back and forth across Canada.
I was raised on middle-class values.
But the biggest single expense for the modern political campaign is TV and radio advertising.
And on a good day, you get to go home feeling you lived up to the job.
In 2011, the Conservatives spent $13.5 million on TV and radio ads at the combined local and national levels. The NDP spent $11.4 million, the Liberals $10.2 million, and the Greens $1.3 million. The parties also need to push their message in the social media sphere, where more and more Canadians are turning first for information.
A lot of the advertising is going to be on social media because the parties are all leaps and bounds ahead of where they were 4 years ago in being able to find the constituencies they want online and send targeted messages to them. And it's going to make it hard for us as reporters to find those ads because it was easier to monitor them when they were all out just on television. But people are getting ads targeted right to their Facebook page.
Each party's national spending limit is based on a simple formula. Take the total number of voters in ridings where they have a candidate and multiply by 74 cents.
Thank you for everything.
This formula has increased by 5% since 2011, when the national limit reached $21 million during the 37-day campaign. The Conservatives spent nearly $20 million in that election, with more than half to pay for national advertising.
Record numbers all across the land.
The NDP under Jack Layton actually outspent the Conservatives nationally by a few $100,000, with nearly $11 million going to advertising.
I'm available. I'm taking questions today.
The Liberals spent $19.5 million, though with less ad spending on TV and radio spots than their chief rivals.
made history.
And the Green Party spent $1.9 million in 2011, a 30% drop from 2008.
Justin Trudeau thinks he was born to be Prime Minister.
What about third-party organizations, such as unions and lobby groups, who want to advertise? They can spend up to $440,000 nationally during this longer campaign, and up to $8,800 in any single riding. But the longer campaign also means Elections Canada needs more money to meet payroll and pay rent for office space, and to provide more reimbursements to the political parties and candidates after the vote, up to 50% of their spending.
You can do the calculation yourself. If they can spend twice and double their reimbursement, well, instead of 50 million we had forecasted for a normal campaign, it could be 100 million.
And whether it's 50 million or 100 million or something in between, in the end, that money will come from all Canadians. Elections Canada won't have the final tally on its expenses, what the parties spent, and what the parties are owed by taxpayers until well after the October 19th vote. But it does seem a likely bet that Canada's 42nd federal election will be its most expensive. For CPAC, I'm Andrew Thomson.